British Truck Racing Association, in association with Orwell Truck and Van, Orwell Mercedes-Benz.co.uk. A very warm welcome to Snetterton for the 6th event of the 2014 British Truck Racing Association Championship. Division 1 sees just a single point separating Matt Summerfield and Chris Levitt. Steve Thomas is close by in third position. In Division 2, Ryan Smith is closing in on Simon Reed, just 6 points between them, and the group gets closer and even more competitive today with the return of a certain Andy Lovenbury.
Andy, welcome back, welcome return. We haven't seen you out for a couple of years. How come you've decided to come back into this?
Well, the opportunity arose. A bit of a mad rush. It was only a few weeks ago. The lads went to Donington and started thinking, that's the one for me. And Ryan got in touch with me. Ryan Smith was racing the system. He's had a new one. He's been back in touch, and so I've ended up having the truck back in a deal, basically.
Now, truck racing seems to be in your blood, and obviously it's pretty addictive. But I must say, this season is more competitive than ever.
Yeah, I'm finding that now. I've just dropped back in thinking I was going to fall back in this weekend. But it seems to be a bit harder than I thought. It's all different at the truck now.
So to put a truck like this on the track, certainly in racing spec, takes a bit of a team and some sponsorship. So tell us who's behind you.
Yeah, it's been a mad rush to get sponsorship in such a short time. Davies Haulage have come on side with the haulage and the fuel, so that's been a big help. The main one with us at the moment, who I'm hoping will move into the new year, is M&M Warehousing, which are based in Stoke. It's a local company, so it's good news for us. We've also got BTRA, which have come on side as well.
So Simon, welcome to Snetterton. We saw you beginning of the year. Are we now going to see you for the remaining rounds?
Yes, I'm going to try and do the last 3 rounds, this one, and Pembury and Brands Hatch, and then the whole season next year.
Now, a truck we're not familiar seeing on the grid, just tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, I've bought a truck from Finland. It's won the championship in Finland 3 years on the spin. And it used to be Mika Mäkinen had it built from scratch in the late 90s. Very well built truck, and it was good value for money.
So looking, we're using this as a springboard for the 2015 season then, and you've started at one of the fastest tracks.
Yeah, well, always somewhere to start. I've raced Clio's here before, so I'm quite familiar with the track, so that's why I come here.
Bit of different racecraft between a Clio and one of these though?
Yeah, quite a bit. A lot different.
I tell you what, there's a lot of driver movement going on at the moment. New guys coming in, new people looking at it. We can expect to see perhaps a couple of drivers move up from Div 2 to Division 1 next season. But we've still got, including this event, 3 action-packed BTRA events to go before the end of the 2014 season. It's been a great year thus far. As we look at Brian Burt in pole position, Steve Powell in purple alongside. Row 2, we've got Simon Reed and Ryan Smith. Great start then by all concerned. Brian Burt drops back just a tad. Andy Lovenbury in the white with yellow writing Sisu. Wonderful to see Lovenbury back. But it's Steve Powell in truck number 3 that leads. Ryan Smith pulled a point back on Simon Reed in race number 1. Lovenbury at Montreal. The hairpin takes a spin. That is a very tight corner to get these big motors around. Lovenbury gets going again. Joins just behind Graham Powell. Here come the Div 1 boys. So it's Chris Levitt, who had brake cooling problems in race number 1 and actually dropped 5 points on Matt Summerfield. Steve Thomas took the win in race 1 here. This is race 2. And sadly, of course, we don't have time to bring you all of the races in our programme. So we've got to try and just pick the best of the action, as it were. But Steve Thomas winning race 1 from Ryan Smith. So Smith closing in on Reed in Division 2. Stuart Oliver was second in Division 1 and Simon Reed second in Division 2. In truck with Stuart Oliver, chasing hard, and that's Steve Thomas, who's already passed a couple of trucks. So Steve Thomas definitely marking himself out as a future champion. He can still do it this year, and he's been fast, he's been consistent. There is Stuart Oliver in the Kelso truck on the inside as they go through Agostini. Thomas repassed, so good dicing going on there. But out front, Ryan Smith already pulling away from Steve Powell. Simon Reed is there in third place. There is the championship leader. So Reed with a 5-point lead now over Ryan Smith. Steve Powell still second in the championship. There's Reed. And he needs to keep finishing. The gap is coming down though, race by race. It looks like a problem for Graham Powell, who is passed by the Division 1 runners. In truck with Richard Collett. Look at that tail end coming out there on Ben Horn's truck. These things an absolute monster to drive here at Snetterton. The race leader though is coming through, Ryan Smith. Unusually perhaps, now he's got in the groove of taking overall race wins. There doesn't seem to be anything stopping him, but Steve Thomas did in race number 1 as we look for the scrap for second. Steve Powell in 3, chasing the championship leader for Division 1. Division 1 effectively the less modified trucks. And here's the view for Ricky Collett coming down the centre straight. But Ayrton Senna would absolutely love this. Collett in yellow, Ben Horn in gold, side by side. Collett's got the inside as they come down into turn 1. Ben Horn keeps it on the tarmac. You can see how narrow it is for Collett to try and go through. And he gets a great run coming down to the hairpin at Montreal up the inside line. Deposes Ben Horn. But now he's got a very tight run into the hairpin. Look at all the mud that's been kicked off by Andy Lovenbury. Lovenbury rejoins the track from pit lane. He's had a little bit of a clean up and he joins back behind Graham Powell in the 55 Renault Mac. So Powell and Lovenbury could engage in their own battle towards the back of the field. Lovenbury's diagnostics and clear out I think probably has worked okay as Matt Summerfield goes past Simon Reed going into the Brundle Nelson complex at the end of the straight. Collett running well, Ricky Collett, then Ben Horn, he's pulled a bit of a gap. Then we go back to the Kelso machine of Stuart Oliver, 33 Steve Thomas. Now remember, Steve Thomas won race 1, and the way the truck racing grids work is that if you win the previous race, you start in the reverse grid, the back of the grid, for the second race. And it's an absolutely ideal race format that the British Truck Racing Association have put together. It's all really about entertaining the crowds that come and see this type of racing. Now this is a very, very long track. This one is the longest circuit that we race on in the UK. It's 2.9 miles, and that means that we've got a huge crowd this weekend, but of course they've got 3 miles of track that they can spread around. And a lot of them watching in the complex before the pit straight there. You can see some of them in the background as we go back to Steve Powell up ahead of Dave Jenkins, then Collett, Horn, followed by the 7 machine of Stuart Oliver. Then Steve Thomas is trying to work his way through. Collett's having another go. This seems to be his favourite place for overtaking, and he passes 2 trucks for the price of 1. But goes wide. David Jenkins in the ATA MEN is looking back up the inside line, and Steve Powell gets past. Powell's still running 3rd in Division 2. And there's problems again for Chris Levitt, who lost 5 points to Matt Summerfield. He's having brake cooling problems in his Renault. And I tell you what, you really do need the brakes around here, because the infield section can be an absolute killer. Graham Powell pulls over in the 55 truck, letting everybody through. Ben Horn chased by Stuart Oliver through Agostini, then a short straight up towards Williams and Oggie's corner before they come back onto the main straight. Oliver and Horn very much engaged in battle. Look at Oliver, kicks up the dirt there. We go in truck with him. He's going to maybe have a little look down the inside line. The right-hander opens up, short piece of straight, then they'll rejoin the Bentley straight here. You can see a little bit of circuit off to the right of shot there, which is the old what's now known as the 200 circuit, the 2-mile circuit. There's an extra mile of infield twists and turns that have been added recently as we look at Matt Summerfield in truck number 1 up ahead of Andy Lovenbury. So Lovenbury is now a lap down, as is Graham Powell. Oliver and Horn very much engaged in battle. So Ben Horn trying to close down on David Jenkins, but to no avail. And Steve Thomas here looking poised to try and pass the multi-champion through the bum hole up to the sweeping corner at Corham. The dust again is kicked up. The dry weather's left things nice and dry, and plenty of dust on the outside. Can make a nice smoke screen for a chasing driver. Andy Lovenbury's passed in the Sisu. So Lovenbury, I'm sure we'll get to see some good results from him in the remainder of the meeting, as David Jenkins is going to have a go back at Richard Collett here. Jenkins, look at the run that he's gone on the grass. He needs to think it's the only way through. Collett's gone through, they're passing Simon Reed. And Jenkins, he's back on the tarmac. Well, if he hadn't have had to resort to the grass to pass Simon Reed, I think he probably would have maybe passed Richard Collett in the HGV direct truck, the yellow and blue machine that's in front of him. Collett's on what is a fast part of the circuit for him, up into Agostini, keeping it pretty tight. An almost truck rallycross could be a new formula that David Jenkins has just invented, as we look at Steve Thomas, who gets forced wide by Stuart Oliver. Look how much ground he's lost, and Oliver's through on the inside of Ben Horn, who's had some issues there. Some body issues on the front of Ben Horn's truck. He's going to fight back, but Stuart Oliver, that's a terrific camera angle, goes through the dirt, kicks that up. So Oliver goes past Simon Reed as well. Steve Thomas is through now and overtakes Ben Horn. Simon Reed realises in the Division 2 truck that he can't really fight those guys. And if he looks into this big tail out there from Steve Thomas, great control of the MAN, still side by side with Ben Horn, but Thomas takes the position. And that is 6th place, 5th position in class. He's got to try and hunt down David Jenkins to see whether he can get on terms with him, and Stuart Oliver in front. But here's the race leader, Ryan Smith, fastest in Division 2 as well. Best lap, a 2 minute 33, averaging virtually 70 miles an hour. Matt Summerfield fastest in Division 1, averaging very nearly 75. On to the last lap of round 24, race 24 of the 2014 British Truck Racing Association Championship, and it's the Sisu of Ryan Smith, who will take another point out of Simon Reed. Ryan at the moment running in overall lead. Simon Reed down in 9th place, but will get 2nd position points. So the gap will now come down to 5 points between the two as we go on board with Stuart Oliver. And chasing David Jenkins, this is for 4th position. The Kelso machine being chased by 33 Steve Thomas, who runs 5th in class at the moment. Oliver, what can he do? He's going to race right the way to the flag. There's a terrific vantage point. You can see all the crowds on the banking on the inside as Oliver goes up on the inside into Oggies. Great move by Stuart Oliver, who outbreaks Dave Jenkins and goes through 3rd in class. That's a class podium in the offing. 4th position overall. Oliver past Jenkins, and the one thing you know about David Jenkins is that he will fight back if he's able to down the straight. But the race leader is Ryan Smith. Matt Summerfield in blue is chasing him through the bomb hole and down into Coram for the last time. And Ryan Smith continues his winning ways. Are we going to see Smith move up into Division 1 next year? I guess that's going to be his aim. He's still closing down the points on Simon Reed. And remember, Reed took 4 wins at Brands Hatch at the start of the year. So we've got some class acts in Division 2. Sideways moment there, bit of showboating from the number 88 truck, who's going to come across the line to take the checkered flag and win his first outright win of the meeting, 2nd class win of this 6th event. Look how close Matt Summerfield got. Great race for Summerfield to come through into 2nd position and takes the class win. So it was Smith from Summerfield, the respective Division 2 and 1 winners. Ricky Collett takes 2nd in Div 1 from Stuart Oliver, then Dave Jenkins and Steve Thomas. Ben Hall, Ray Coleman in 8th place, Simon Reed 2nd in Division 2. Division 2 podium for Steve Powell in 10th place ahead of Chris Levitt. Jim Bennett 12th from Brian Burt. Andy Loverenbury and Graham Powell complete the runners. Fastest laps Summerfield and Smith.
Ryan, what a cracking race.
Yeah, it went really well. We got off to a good start. Steve Powell, I went down ran the outside of him and got in front, and then I just pedalled it all the way. And halfway through the race, I knew I had a big lead, and I could just see Matt sneaking up. I thought, I'm just going to keep it and see what I can do. Kept the foot down, and I won the overall.
So Matt, race 2 here at Snetterton, a great race. You started this event with only 1 point between you and Chris, and there was certainly a battle there for most of that race.
Yeah, there was, mate. It was an eventful race, and he's always pushing hard all the way through. I knew that we was faster than Chris anyway. I could see that in me catching him. And, you know, is the next race going to be a bit different? I think he sorted his water cooling out on his truck, and he'll be back up to full speed and going like the clappers again. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed the race, and I did just take advantage of his misfortune, and I just kept on sewing on to the end. We had got Ryan in our sights, but I thought, well, keep a level head here, Matt. We're not racing with Ryan. At the end of the day, we've got a class win under our belt, and it's the points that count really in this job.
As ever, our event here at Snetterton allowed the race fans to get up close to the stars and their rigs with a pre-race grid walk. And it's not just the drivers who are flying this weekend, as the entertainment continued up in the air as well.
So Paul, here we are with Orwell Truck and Van, main sponsor and supporter of this series. Just tell us how you became involved.
Well, we got involved for the first time last year. It's the first that we'd heard about it. We're obviously aware of truck racing, but we're delighted to come back this year again. Full series, obviously, for British truck racing. And it's a great event to be involved in. Superb for us. It gives us great exposure for our vehicles as well. We've got the full range of trucks here, and we've managed to get probably over 100 customers through over the weekend to come and see the racing, experience it for the first time, but also for them to come and see us and get involved with what we do.
So tell me a little bit about Orwell Truck and Van. Where's it located? What sort of coverage?
Well, we're all over East Anglia, so we're in Ipswich, Norwich, Newmarket and Colchester. So from that perspective, to have a round in the middle of East Anglia is perfect for us. Obviously, as well as selling new and used trucks and vans, we offer 24-hour maintenance across the region as well. So for those customers, they've come to rely upon that. But what we like to do is actually involve them a little bit in what we do. And these are extracurricular activities, but they give us a chance to spend more time with customers on a quality, relaxed basis. I think that's only great for us, and it's certainly good for the sport, I think.
Race 3 of the meeting. Andy Lovenbury, I don't think starting this one. He was due to be on the front row of the grid, but it's Graham Powell in 55 from pole position, leads them away. Breaking ranks is Brian Burt, who's going to come through into the lead. Steve Powell's coming through as well down the inside. Great start by Brian Burt from row 2. Wonderful start. Steve Powell up into second. He started back on row 3. Then it's Simon Reed. Graham Powell dropping back just a little bit, but Brian Burt it is that leads them down into Agostini. I beg your pardon, Montreal. Agostini down on the mid part of the complex. So Montreal the hairpin under big pressure from Steve Powell. Then Simon Reed, who will be keen not to lose a point. Here are the Division 1 boys who are getting underway. Chris Levitt leads from the front. Ray Coleman in truck number 2, you saw to the right of shot. Side by side, Steve Thomas with Dave Jenkins, followed by Stuart Oliver, Matt Summerfield. Oh! And Mr. Whippy there for Ricky Collett, who took second position in race number 1 in the programme, race 2 of the meeting. Brian Burt, though, it is that leads. This is such a physical circuit here. Great job by Brian Burt for the first half of this lap, but he's coming under big pressure from Steve Powell. So they're running up towards Hamilton. So Ryan Smith's in 4th place. Simon Reed there. So Reed will pull a point back if it stays like this to the flag. But Ryan Smith, who has had 7 wins so far in the championship, 4 for the red truck up ahead. Brian Burt still coming under pressure, but defending well. Brian Burt's doing a super job here. Look at him hanging on. We'll see how well that truck runs down the straight. It may be now as Ryan Smith goes up into 3rd place. That's another championship point potentially for Ryan Smith, but now they're running down the Bentley straight. And Ryan Smith, look at the speed that Smith's got. 3 wide on the Bentley straight. You don't see that in car racing normally, but these trucks dish it out in shed loads. Back we go. Ray Coleman in the Renault number 2. We're missing a Renault incidentally. Dave Smith, of course, is retired from the championship at the moment. We're hoping to see Dave's truck out on circuit again next year, and it'll be very good to see Dave back in the sport. Let's hope that he does indeed come back as we look at the battle for second place between truck number 3, Steve Powell, coming under pressure from Simon Reed. Very good set of opening corners though from Brian Burt, who led until they got onto the straight. The power and acceleration of the other trucks really told, and they went past. And Ryan Smith Flying Ryan, I guess you could call him, if we were prone to using cliches. We did see a bit of flying during the lunch break in terms of the entertainment here, but here comes Reed side by side with Powell as they come along the centre straight. There's the race leader who's getting away with this one again. Ryan Smith, Simon Reed, the championship leader, looks around the outside, takes second position away from Steve Powell. It was job done by the time he got to the first corner. Meanwhile, we got the Division 1 runners, the more modified trucks, making their way through. Some of the Division 1 boys as well. Looks like real problems for Graham Powell at this meeting. Graham has had 12 wins this year. Let's remember that, and let's hope that he gets back to form. Our next meeting's going to be at Pembrey, where he took a clean sweep last time, so he'll be keen to recapture that form and capture that man who's going through shot. Ryan Smith, who's going to take another point away from Simon Reed. The gap in the championship standings is coming down. So through they go, and that's Chris Levitt. Levitt from the front of the grid sorted his cooling problems out, and Levitt, look, he's got a huge lead over Dave Jenkins. The black truck there is second position in Division 1, followed by Steve Thomas, who's going to have a look at Agostini. A great car line for overtaking down the inside into Agostini, and we go in truck with Stuart Oliver. Stuart all over the back of Steve Thomas. Thomas at the moment third in class. Oliver wants another podium. Oliver in the Kelso machine. He's got the blue truck of championship leader Matt Summerfield. Matt 13 points now, clear of Chris Levitt. That's effectively a non-finish that Matt Summerfield can have, but with Levitt out front at the moment, he will get maximum points. Very, very simple point scoring system in the truck championship for each class. 10 points for the race winner, 9 for second, 8 for third, and so on. No drop scores, it's straightforward, everybody can understand it, nobody complains about it, it's absolutely ideal. As we look at Graham Powell, sadly struggling, 12 times race winner. Ryan Smith is looking for his 8th win. Here is Ryan, and chasing him is Chris Levitt. Now, are we going to see a second Division 1 overall win? Remember, we have the two classes, and the Division 2 boys get a head start by way of a handicapping for the Division 1 runners, and that means sometimes we get a Div 1 winner, sometimes we don't. But Levitt's flying, he's got fastest lap, 72.72 miles per hour, 2 minute 26.975. Riceman, look at this, 4 wide as they come down towards the bomb hole, and Steve Thomas has got second in class, so Thomas is second. Dave Jenkins third. Matt Summerfield in blue squeezes down the inside of Stuart Oliver, gets the wheels on the dirt. Thought he was going to do a little bit of Dave Jenkins rally crossing there as we go in truck again with Matt Summerfield. Championship leader, Collett's on the inside. Ricky Collett takes the position in the yellow HGV direct truck. Matt Summerfield needs to get past him. Now this is damage limitation from Summerfield. He starts at the back of the grid having won the last race, and every truck in Division 1 that he passes is another point which he won't drop to Chris Levitt, who is away and down the road. Levitt really got a crack on early in this one. Division 1 boys having a great race. There is Steve Thomas, 1 win already from this meeting. He's second, Dave Jenkins third, Collett fourth. 5th place Matt Summerfield is trying to pile on the pressure. Burton on Trent Racer leads the championship. As you can see, it is not easy going at all. And these boys don't take the easy option. They have the handicap system where they start a good few seconds away from the Division 2 runners. They also have reverse grids within their group. We're back at Snetterton for the third race of the 6th event of the 2014 British Truck Racing Association Championship. Ricky Collett challenging Dave Jenkins with Matt Summerfield in close attendance. The race leader though, Ryan Smith in Division 2, Chris Levitt in Division 1. It looks like Christopher is going to be on for maximum points here. Side by side, Jenkins and Collett. Collett on the outside. Matt Summerfield could come up the inside here. He does. Sideways moment, opposite lock. Bit of truck drifting there for Ricky Collett, and he was punished for that. Jenkins is through, Summerfield's through, Stuart Oliver is there as well, and joining the party is Ray Coleman. Are we going to see a delivery from the Coleman in this one as he comes out of Williams, down the Bentley straight? This is the view from Steve Thomas, under the bridge, into Brundle, left-hander, right-hander round into Nelson. This, of course, is Norfolk, Nelson's county. Oliver is through as well, and piling the pressure on the blue truck of Matt Summerfield. You can see Simon Reed in red ahead of us. He's running second in Division 2 at the moment, so Reed goes through. But here, onto the last lap, is the race leader, Christopher Levitt, who's going to peg back the points. At the moment, Levitt will take 10. It's going to be 9 for Steve Thomas. Matt Summerfield's going to drop a few points here, so he's got a 13-point lead at the moment. And Stuart Oliver goes through on the inside as they come into Murray's and goes on the grass. Summerfield bogged down and can't get going. Ricky Collett's coming back through as well. Collett gets all those places back. Ray Coleman's come through as well, ahead of Matt Summerfield. So Summerfield, as they go on to the last lap, has got some work to do. So Summerfield is going to have a big dent in the championship points. Through goes Dave Jenkins, who is running third in class. So it's going to be Levitt, Thomas and Jenkins. Ryan Smith is leading Division 2 again in the Sisu. And this to be from Matt Summerfield. Wants to get past Ray Coleman. Comes offline. And this is all about the brakes. He's got it. The blue truck goes through on the inside at Montreal. The lantern-backed Renault goes wide. This is Ray Coleman's second meeting, remember. He's acquitting himself superbly thus far in the championship, and it augurs well, doesn't it, for the remaining 2 rounds at Pembrey and Brands Hatch in the first weekend of November. Make sure that you come to either of those rounds. Brands Hatch with the big fireworks display as well, so we have fireworks on track and off circuit as Dave Jenkins goes through. It's going to be another podium for Jenkins by the looks of things. Collett side by side with Oliver, who goes through Agostini. Great move, great racing between the pair of them, and Collett's going to try and fight back. Summerfield's all over the dirt, trying to get on terms with Ricky Collett to challenge for 5th place in class. Some great truck racing we're seeing here at Snetterton, and a terrific meeting put on by the British Automobile Racing Club on this MSV circuit, and the trucks are getting better and better all the time. I've got to say, the championship in rude health at the moment. Summerfield, what can he do about Collett? There is Ryan Smith, who leads Division 2. It's going to be an 8th win for him. He's got Steve Thomas behind him. Thomas is running second in Division 1, and this man, Christopher Levitt, truck number 9, is going to take another win. So through goes Levitt to take the checkered flag. 10th win of the season, I think, for Levitt as he crosses the line. And he is 20 seconds clear of Ryan Smith, who wins Division 2. Third place goes to Steve Thomas. He's second in Division 1. Then Dave Jenkins and Stuart Oliver. Ricky Collett 5th in class ahead of Matt Summerfield. Ray Coleman next from Simon Reed. He's second in Division 2. Steve Powell takes another podium in Division 2 ahead of Jim Bennett, Brian Burt, Graham Powell. Fastest laps to the class winners, Levitt and Smith.
Chris, congratulations, another first place there. Seems pretty good for championship points.
Yeah, we're just really a shame about yesterday. We lost that many points, but luckily we've found the problem now. So we'll see now. That was a good result. Then, like, we've won that one, but it's just we've still dropped points from yesterday. So we've still got 2 more races to try and battle the points back.
Steve, we saw you out at Donington. Some bad luck there, but back with a vengeance in this race.
Yeah, we didn't have much luck at Donington, and the lads have been working really hard over the last couple of weeks to get the truck sorted. And came here yesterday with the first race, and it was we had the first in the first race, and then obviously today a second. And the truck's absolutely fantastic. The lads have improved it so much. It's just a different truck to drive totally to it has been. So it was good fun.
David, another great battle. Just talk us through your race.
Yeah, cracking race there. We got away really from the front early on behind the Renault, Chris Levitt, and then managed to defend, I think, from Steve Thomas for a few laps, but he got a quicker truck and he got away. And then the other guys, Rick, Matt, Stuart, they were all there in the gaggle behind, but I think they ended up tripping over each other with about 2 laps to go. Just cut us a bit of space to the flag. So yeah, constructive start to the day for us really.
A season of highs and lows, thankfully highs mainly, and this truck seems to be pretty consistent overall.
Yeah, we haven't had the best of seasons. We've had a little bit of unreliability, a little bit of inconsistency really from the performances. But on the whole, we keep heading in the right direction. Cracking result from Donington a few weeks ago. It proves that the truck, that me, the team, we're all still here. We can still do it. We just need to do it more often.
The start of the season, it was a bit more of a test case for you rather than thinking you're going to be on podiums all the time. I think half of that must be the team behind you. Just tell us a bit about that.
Well, Nigel, who I work for, I buy on behalf of him, and his mechanic Arnie, and all my brother and family members have all chipped in. We're not really that knowledgeable with trucks, but Genco and Summerfield, they help us with advice and stuff. So we're doing pretty well.
I think that advice might start to dilute as the season goes on.
Yes, maybe, but we're just going to take it a step at a time. I mean, as I'll say again, it's not a true reflection of what's happening. Graham Powell's having massive problems. He's also very fast. Simon Reed's been held up a few times. Steve Powell's had problems. So we have had it a little easier than we would normally have it. But once I get in front, I'm just keeping my toe in. I'm not backing off.
So Simon, second place in Div 2 there. Well done. Quite a race there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Had a good battle with Stephen Powell, and Ryan Smith managed just to sneak through again between us, and just keep it going and hoping that he was getting fluff up at some point, but he never did. So, no, you can't relax, And had a good race, had a very good race.
Race 5 of the weekend, the last race of Event 6 in this year's championship. Andy Lovenbury not out again. He did get a finish in race 4, but it's Brian Burt's on the front row of the grid. Coming up the inside is Jim Bennett in 28. Then Steve Powell in 3, Simon Reed up the inside, Ryan Smith at the back. And Ryan's going to try and come through at the moment. We've got the fourth of Brian, but look at Simon Reed! Flies down the inside into the class lead. That is a man on a mission. He gets on the brakes, hooks it around, makes it around the hairpin. That was a stunning piece of overtaking by Simon Reed, who had absolute faith and confidence in his machinery to go past and also to stop. That's exactly how you pass under braking. Chris Levitt to the outside of Ray Coleman. In truck with Ricky Collett, 95, still picking up. Oh, Stuart Oliver! Go off, talk about pay a visit. Did you hear the clunk then? Goodness me, Simon Reed leads. Ryan Smith has a look up the inside, but it's Jim Bennett in 28. The Senan Atkinson, who's the chaser at the moment. Ryan Smith is in third place from Steve Powell, so the Division 2 runners go along the straight. In race 4, it was Smith from Reed again. The gap in the championship down to 2 points here. So if Reed's race doesn't go well, he could lose the championship lead. If it's first and second between Smith and Reed, then it will go down to 1 point with 10 races left in the championship. 2 events as we look at Collett being chased by Summerfield. It was Matt Summerfield who won race 4 from Chris Levitt. So the championship is now, in terms of Division 1, the gap down to 9 points. So Summerfield now can't have a non-finish. So Levitt is pulling things back once again, having won race 3 of the meeting. And here's the view from Matt Summerfield. Look how tail happy these trucks get. And the truck we were looking at from the onboard was the yellow machine, the HGV director Ricky Collett. Ray Coleman's chasing in truck number 2. Remember, a newcomer into the championship. I was talking to some of the boys that race in this championship, and they're telling me that, you know what, it's cheap, can be cheaper than car racing. So one of the other championships that I work on is a junior championship. One of the drivers in there who's barely turned 17 said he fancies to go at this, so we might see some younger racers coming into it next year. Big sideways showboat there from Collett, who collects it all up, but he's not going forward, so that means that the truck behind is going forward at a quicker rate, and Summerfield looks up the inside, but Collett's got momentum round the outside into Coram. Can he hang on to it? He's going to come across and try and close the door on Matt Summerfield. Oh, robust stuff from Collett, doesn't want to give up the place. 2 MAN side by side. Now Summerfield's going to have the line here. Can he hang on to it into Murray's? Runs wide, they're still side by side. That wider line gives Summerfield more momentum. Ray Coleman's coming through as well. Ricky Collett, though, I take my hat off to. He's the most experienced driver, I think, in the field, and still one of the most entertaining as well. Here is Ryan Smith being chased by Steve Powell in truck number 3. So Steve Powell coming under pressure from 28. Jim Bennett and the Division 2 boys still involved. This is the gap between first and second. Simon Reed leads. There he is. The red 89 machine, followed by the Sisu of Ryan Smith. Then a gap back to Steve Powell. Powell being chased by Jim Bennett. Brian Burt still running in 5th place. Out of Agostini and heading down towards Hamilton. And into the lead now. Ryan Smith has gone through, so Smith leads here at Snetterton. Smith leads. It's Simon Reed in second. Matt Summerfield being passed again robustly by Stuart Oliver in 7, who goes through. Well, the Division 1 boys again providing some very, very entertaining racing. We're looking at David Jenkins from Matt Summerfield, then Stuart Oliver. And not only do they have to look at the crowd on the inside here, we've got such a huge crowd come to watch the truck racing here. And Snetterton, a recent addition to the calendar, and a very welcome one. Here's the leader, Ryan Smith, took over at the front just before the break. Simon Reed runs in 2nd place. Then it's Chris Levitt. So Chris Levitt running at the moment in 3rd position. Now, will Levitt have time? He won't be too worried about the Division 1 boys, apart from the pride thing. Of course, he does need to take the class win, but he's closing up on Simon Reed. Reed here, if they stay like this, will retain the championship lead, but in Division 1, in Division 2, it will go down to 1 point. Levitt takes his Renault past the Simon Reed Iveco and up into 2nd place. So Levitt working his way through the field and well clear. Ryan Smith here, you can see the sun starting to go down. So Smith leads Levitt. Is Levitt going to catch him up? Steve Thomas having a great run again. He is 2nd place in Division 1 and 4th place on the road at the moment. He wants to chase down Simon Reed and if possible get on terms with Chris Levitt, who is away and down the road. Levitt here looks like he's going to close the points up even more. So Levitt closing the gap on the race leader. Levitt's lap times indicate that these are incidentally 7-lap races, so it's effectively just over 20 miles in each race distance, and Levitt is closing up on the race leader. Look how much performance advantage he's got down the Bentley straight. Remember, we saw the Ryan Smith truck go 3 wide and pass 2 other trucks in one of the earlier races, and Levitt makes up the distance, goes through, takes the overall lead. So Levitt is, I think, going to take another win, and it's going to be 2 wins for Levitt this weekend, 2 wins for Matt Summerfield, 1 for Steve Thomas. It's been a little bit more straightforward in Division 2 with 5 out of 5 for Ryan Smith, who stays 2nd in the championship. Now Ryan's picked up the winning habit. He seems to hang on to it. Here's Steve Thomas though, 2nd in the 33 truck, the cab over. 2nd in Division 1, 3rd on the road, challenging for that 2nd place. Comes out of Murray's, onto the centre straight once again. Now has he got the power advantage here? Look how much quicker he is, accelerating out of Murray's, looks down the inside. Ryan Smith's seen him, pulls to the outside of the track. Thomas is through into 2nd position, so it's Levitt from Thomas. Ryan Smith in 3rd place. We need to see where Matt Summerfield is to work out how things are going on the points in Division 1. We know that Ryan Smith is now within a point of Simon Reed, and this is the view from Steve Thomas. Clear circuit in front of him because Chris Levitt is 10 seconds away down the road. Stuart Oliver goes through, so too does Ray Coleman, then David Jenkins. Here's Steve Powell in truck number 3. Now Powell is still running in a podium position in Division 2, so Steve Powell is going to pick up some useful points here, and remember he is 3rd in the championship ahead of his brother Graham. Steve Powell racing in the Foden Alpha as we look at 2nd place man Steve Thomas, 3rd in the championship, and this will move Steve on to 204. We've still got 10 races remaining in the championship, which is potentially 100 points. So coming out of this meeting, it looks to me like we've still got a whole bunch of drivers that could take championship honours. There is Summerfield going through ahead of Simon Reed. So Summerfield at the moment running in third place in class. So he's going to drop a couple. It's going to take the points difference as we look at Dave Jenkins in 69 trying to get on terms with Ray Coleman. It's going to take the points battle down to 7 points as we head to Pembrey in October. First weekend in October for Pembrey. That's our penultimate event of the year. Another 5 races at the very popular Welsh Raceway. So Jenkins trying to get past Ray Coleman. This for 5th in class. Ray Coleman 5th at the moment. David Jenkins 6th and 7th respectively on track. But out front, Chris Levitt is going to bring the championship lead after problems in races 1 and 2. Back down to 7 points. He's going to have 220 points. Matt Summerfield's going to be on 227. Summerfield with another podium in the offing at the moment. But it's Levitt from Steve Thomas, who's had a great meeting, Steve Thomas. Thomas is going to be joint top point scorer on the meeting here with Matt Summerfield. They're both going to come away with 41 points from the meeting. Ryan Smith's going to be unbeaten. Simon Reed passed by Stuart Oliver. Oliver now in 5th place in the race. You can see the blue truck of Matt Summerfield away and down the road, and that tells you, incidentally, that Ray Coleman and company not that far behind Simon Reed either. Reed runs wide. Dave Jenkins goes through, so Jenkins now ahead of Ray Coleman. Coleman's going to go through as well, up into the left-hander at Palmer's, so he was on the outside line but clears Reed's truck before he gets to the turn-in. Coleman 7th, Simon Reed now in 8th, 2nd position in Division 2. 9th place is Steve Powell, who is 3rd in Division 2, still ahead of Jim Bennett, who's 4th in class. Brian Burt 5th. And we watch them going into Agostini. Dave Jenkins still under pressure as the race leaders head down the Bentley straight. You just saw a flash of Christopher Levitt going through, and he's going to take this one by getting on for 14-15 seconds. Here's the race leader. So Levitt will score 35 points on the meeting. It's not been the best of meetings for him, but he's pegged the championship lead back to 7 points here. So the Perry's truck, the Renault, is coming up now on the 55 machine of Graham Powell. So it looks like GP is going to be lapped, I think, before the end. Back to Stuart Oliver in 7. Stuart in the silver truck is 5th. David Jenkins in 6th place and 5th in class. And they haven't been able to get on terms with Ryan Smith here, the Division 1 boys, or most of them. Levitt and Thomas have managed to get past, but the others haven't. But here's the checkered flag. Chris Levitt takes the win and pegs the championship lead back to 7 points. Next across the line is Graham Powell. He's a lap down, 6th position in Division 2, but takes the points. Win number 2 of the weekend then for Chris Levitt from Steve Thomas. Ryan Smith wins Division 2, a 100% win rate for him this weekend. Matt Summerfield 3rd in Div 1 from Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins. Ray Coleman next. Simon Reed 2nd in Division 2 from Steve Powell. Jim Bennett 4th place in Div 2 and rounds out the overall top 10. Brian Burt, Richard Collett and Graham Powell complete the runners' fastest laps. Chris Levitt and Ryan Smith.
Chris, another great victory. Once you fought your way through the Div 2s, fairly plain sailing.
Yeah, it was quite hard. Not hard, but every time you come to find a Division 2, it always went that little bit slippier with the water, so it was happy to get past them. Then you could just relax and just make sure nothing was going to go wrong with the water again. And then I think about 2 laps from the end, I just wanted to just see how fast we could go. And I think we shocked myself because we were about a second faster in the last race, and we've been all weekend.
Steve, well done. 2nd place there. Chris takes some catching, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he got a good start, very good start, and I was 3rd off the grid, and he was away. I got past Dave Jenkins, but then trying to catch Chris, the truck's phenomenal. Chris's truck is fantastic, and he's a good driver. And I looked in the camera, and the other lads were battling away, and which was holding them up, which gave me a nice, bit of a buffer, gap between me and 3rd place. So, it was quite quiet out there once we got over the first 2 or 3 laps, and brought it home second, which I'm pleased with. I've had a fantastic weekend.
Matt, congratulations, third there. Not an easy race. This first couple of corners quite tricky.
No, it was hard, mate. We did a lot better there than I expected, really. The passing manoeuvres around here are virtually zilcho. A few availabilities, presented themselves to me, and I got involved, took the chance of them, and we worked our way up. We lost a few points again to Chris, but we gained a fair few over the weekend. So, I'm really happy, mate. The truck's in one piece, and we're ready for Pembrey, really.
Ryan, congratulations. Getting a bit of a habit this, mate.
That race were a little different though. I got held up and I got up the side of Jim Bennett, and he pulled away from me on the straight. So I was stuck behind Jim for about 2 laps. Simon had got away, and for the first 2 laps I thought, I don't think I'm going to catch him. But I reeled him in, and I eventually got by him. And I just kept my foot to the floor and brought it home. 50 points, no damage. Couldn't have dreamt of a better weekend. And we're only 1 point behind now, so fingers crossed.
Steve, congratulations. Third in Division 2. In fact, thirds all weekend.
Yeah, all weekend. It's been all right, quite average, but just a little bit slower than the ones in front and too quick for the ones behind. But happy, very happy, really. So.
Now, mid-season when we spoke to you, I said it was all about consistency with you, and your brother's had some bad luck this weekend, Graham. You're still up on the points.
Yeah, I think I'm in third, yeah. He's had a lot of bad luck. I mean, we missed one race in Donerton, which set us back, so really, I think we'll probably finish third the end of the year, basically. So it's not bad.
Pembrey next, one of your favourites?
Yeah, looking forward to that, can't wait, yeah. I mean, I won't be winning it because a couple of them are too quick, but definitely a second, hopefully, so.
Best of luck, see you then.
Thank you very much, Barry.
2 events left, and 7 points separate Matt Summerfield and Chris Levitt at the top of the table. Steve Thomas still in the chase as well, he's third. Stuart Oliver fourth from Dave Jenkins, and Ricky Collett in sixth. In Division 2, just a point between Reed and Smith. Steve Powell third from Graham Powell, then Steve Rothery and Brian Burt wrapping up the top 6. So that's it from Snetterton. Hope you've enjoyed the action. Don't forget to catch us next time when we're at Pembrey in South Wales. Join us then.